What happens when million-dollar talent collides with horrible crimes?
You said you know who did the shooting?
Yeah, the basketball player, Crittenton, Crittenton.
The NBA has thrilled us with iconic moments and legendary players, but some stories take a darker turn. In this video, we will reveal the players with the most notorious criminal cases. These are not just minor slip-ups. These are horrible moments, including shocking arrests, trials, and verdicts that rock the sports world. From hit and runs to fraud rings and even murder charges, these stories show how fame and fortune can spiral into chaos within seconds. Do you think that NBA fame can protect players from their bad choices? Stick around, hit the like and subscribe button for updates, and let's find out.
The supersonic legend is accused of shooting at two men at the Tacoma Mall in 2023.
Javaris Crittenton. Javaris Crittenton had it all lined up. High school phenom beside Dwight Howard, a Georgia Tech standout, and a first-round pick by the Lakers in 2007 with $2.6 million guaranteed. But in 2015, he was not even suiting up for an NBA team. He was standing in an Atlanta courtroom pleading guilty to manslaughter. The charge? The 2011 shooting death of Julian Jones, a 22-year-old mother of four. Crittenton admitted he had joined the notorious Mansfield Gangster Crips during his rookie NBA season. Prosecutors said he was trying to shoot a man who had allegedly robbed him, but instead, his bullet struck Jones, an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire. That one shot cost a woman her life and ended Crittenton's future forever. He was sentenced to 23 years behind bars. This was not his first brush with guns. NBA fans remember his infamous locker room standoff with Gilbert Arenas, but this time, it was not a standoff, it was a tragedy. His cousin who drove the car during the shooting also pleaded guilty. What was once raw potential turned into wasted talent and irreversible damage. A chilling reminder of how fast the game can disappear when life choices spiral out of control. Ruben Patterson's dark scandal. Ruben Patterson had just put up his best numbers as a Sonic, 13.1 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 30 minutes a night over 76 games. But all of that quickly faded into the background when the headlines shifted from box scores to courtrooms. Patterson was charged with third-degree attempted rape involving his family's 24-year-old nanny. And new team owner Howard Schultz, still settling into his role, was forced to confront a nightmare scenario. Schultz, best known for building Starbucks into a global empire, had just led a $200 million purchase of the team. His vision was to rebuild the Sonics not just on the court, but as a community brand rooted in integrity. Now, one of his star players had been accused of a serious crime. And this was not Patterson's first offense. He'd already been suspended earlier that year for breaking a man's jaw in Cleveland. Schultz said, "What this is about is preserving and protecting that trust with our fans." His disappointment was unmistakable. Patterson planned to enter a modified guilty plea, but his future in Seattle suddenly looked bleak. Chance Comanche. Chance Comanche was once chasing the NBA dream, a 6'10" big man who even suited up for the Portland Trail Blazers in April 2023. But by the end of that year, the headlines weren't about basketball, they were about murder. Comanche and his 19-year-old girlfriend, Sakari Harnden, were arrested in connection with the kidnapping and killing of Harden's friend, Morena Rogers, a 23-year-old medical assistant whose body was found dumped in a desert ditch near Las Vegas. Rogers went missing on December 7th, 2 days after arranging to meet with Harnden and Comanche. Police say foul play was suspected early on, and the couple was quickly arrested for kidnapping. After obtaining damning evidence, authorities upgraded the charges. Rogers had been strangled to death, and both Comanche and Harnden were determined to be responsible. Comanche pleaded not guilty and faced trial on March 10th, 2025, alongside Harnden. He did not face the death penalty, but the potential consequences of a guilty verdict were still severe. He was dropped by the Stockton Kings immediately after the charges surfaced, from dropping buckets in a G League game to being cuffed by the FBI. It was a shocking, horrifying fall from grace. Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams had the pedigree, a number 11 overall pick in the 2009 NBA draft, stints with the Nets, Celtics, Rockets, and Kings, and millions in career earnings. But what followed was not a retirement plan. It was a fraud scheme that ripped off the NBA's health and welfare benefit plan for nearly $5 million. Now, he's serving 10 years in federal prison. Between 2017 and 2021, Williams recruited a crew of ex-NBA players, doctors, and a dentist to submit fake medical and dental claims. He even impersonated health plan officials to keep the scheme alive. The result, at least 18 former players charged, 13 pleading guilty, and over $300,000 in kickbacks kickbacks funneled to Williams. The judge, who also blasted Williams for threatening witnesses and stealing identities, said, "You frittered away substantial earnings and then used your charm to lead others into crime." He was ordered to repay $2.5 million and forfeit $654,000. Williams blamed opioid addiction, poor choices, and deep regret, but the court saw a manipulator motivated by greed, not desperation. From an NBA hopeful to the ringleader of a shocking healthcare scam, Williams' downfall is a brutal lesson in wasted opportunity and criminal ambition. Charles Smith's tragedy. Charles Smith once represented the United States on the Olympic stage, averaging over 18 points a game at Georgetown and earning MVP honors in college hoops. But in a shocking and tragic twist, the Boston Celtics guard now faced charges of vehicular homicide, drunk driving, and leaving the scene of a deadly crash, one that killed 2 Boston University students in the middle of the night. According to police, Smith's van struck 21-year-old Auntie Trin and 20-year-old Michelle Dartley on Commonwealth Avenue around 1:45 a.m. Witnesses said the van spun, made a U-turn, and fled. A taxi driver followed him, helping police locate the vehicle just 12 minutes later. Smith's blood alcohol level was 0.06, below the legal limit, but still enough for authorities to file DUI charges based on impairment. Smith pleaded not guilty and was released on $100,000 personal recognizance. The Celtics, stunned, withheld comment on his team status. Boston University President John Silber said, "This isn't about basketball, it's about life lost and dreams extinguished." A rising star, a 1988 Olympian, a shot at the NBA, now overshadowed by 2 lives lost and 1 moment of reckless decision-making that changed everything. Shawn Kemp's fall. Shawn Kemp was once a 6-time NBA All-Star, posterizing defenders with thunderous dunks and leading the Seattle Supersonics to the 1996 NBA Finals. But years after retirement, Kemp's legacy is increasingly tied not to fame, but courtrooms. The former All-Star's most recent legal troubles include a guilty plea to second-degree assault for firing shots at 2 men in a Tacoma Mall parking lot in 2023. Though no one was injured, prosecutors initially charged Kemp with first-degree assault and drive-by shooting before reaching a plea deal. He now faces 9 months in jail and a year of supervision. But this was not Kemp's first run-in with the law. In 2005, he was arrested for cocaine and marijuana possession. Just a year later, he was caught with more drugs and a pistol. And in 2023, before the shooting incident, he was arrested for marijuana possession during a traffic stop. Once known as Rain Man for his dominance on the court, Kemp's post-NBA life has been a rocky road of addiction battles, weight struggles, and now gun violence. Despite earning nearly $92 million over 15 seasons, the game's power forward has been overpowered by choices that cast a shadow over his once legendary name. In the end, some of these players were all-stars. Others were just getting started, but all of them made choices that turned their careers into horror stories. The NBA is a league built on second chances, redemption arcs, and comebacks, but some lines, once crossed, cannot be forgiven. These were not just poor decisions, they were life-shattering actions. Whether it was greed, rage, addiction, or pure recklessness, these crimes left legacies in ruins. So, which of these stories shocked you the most? What lesson did you get from these stories about fame, pressure, and character? Comment below. Hit the like and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next video.